Side down, pushes up on the 45. This Great Lakes biplane is old. Yes, indeed. It's a 1929 Great Lakes biplane. They call it the Model 2T, or the airplane climbs straight up. Does a quick quarter roll. As gravity slows him down, he'll push on the left rudder pedal. That's the hammerhead stall turn. Very graceful performance. Completing 5/8 of a loop. He's just falling, not flying. Quick snap rolls, the high-speed stall. Pulls that stick back into his lap and hits the left rudder hard. Very challenging maneuver to do because of the coordination necessary between the stick and the rudder to keep a straight line going across. Here's the night base pass. Oh, Fiala. That's 400 miles per hour. And watch for the nose to come up as the Mustang climbs in a Cuban A turnaround. Trading that altitude for airspeed. The airplane will float over the top and then roll upright and quickly return for the second. That was supposed to prove that black men could not fly fighter aircraft. But the Air Corps was by the Packard Motor Car Company. Did not. Protecting the bombers was their primary mission, and the Tuskegee Airmen did that very well. There's 2, 3, to inverted, there's 4. 5, to right night there, 6, 7, and 8. Nice round of applause for the 8-point hesitation roll from Doug Rosendahl from Prairie, Iowa. He's got 32 years and over 10,000 flight hours and over 150 types of aircraft. He's a flight instructor and the Federal Aviation Administration designated. Well, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Commemorative Air Force and the Red Tail Project, all the guys Air Tractor is the most widely used aerial spray plane in the world. These airplanes are called air tractors because, like a tractor, they can do a lot of different jobs.
Today? Man, I love air shows. I used to come to these all the time to meet up with other planes, watch the performances, but I never thought that I would be up here myself.
Now, while Dusty's practicing his turns, a little info about the film. To bolster the authenticity of the flight scenes, the production team recorded real-life planes, including crop dusters for Dusty, some old biplanes, a twin-engine aircraft, and Navy F-18s for the scene that featured fighter jets Echo and Bravo. Next time around, kids, let's get them away.
I know those planes are so parade with their carbon fiber bodies and supercharged engines and fancy avionics, but I've got something that they don't have, and it's not the...
One of the very few F7f Tiger Cats into our show today. And again, thanks to Dusty Crophopper, Rusty Lindemann is the pilot, and Dusty's cousin, the Air Tractor 18802, is the world's largest single-engine aircraft and has a gross takeoff weight of 8 tons, that's 16,000 pounds. And you'll join the more than 64% of Americans who have ever been a designated driver or driven home by one. It's a message from your friends at Budweiser. Silver Eagle Distributors was the Grumman Aircraft Company. The Grumman Iron Works, as they were known, and they had a line of aircraft that they called Cats. It started out with the F4f Wildcat. Then it went to the F6f Hellcat. Then it went to the F7f Tiger Cat. Then it went to the F8f Bearcat. And after that, you probably remember the F-14 Tomcat, the star of the movie Top Gun, that also co-starred Kelly McGillis and Tom Cruise and Tom Skerritt and folks like that. But the Tomcat, the F-14, was the one that inspired it. But that name Tomcat for the F-14 actually was considered at one point to be the name of the aircraft that is being cleared in right now from the right. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the F7f Tiger Cat. It first flew in 1943 in November of that year. Production was from 1943 to 46. Only 364 of them were built. They actually served with the United States Navy and Marine Corps from 1944 to 1954 and had a top speed of 460 miles per hour. It was actually the first twin-engine fighter in the Navy and came into service too late to see combat in World War II. But most were land-based as attack and night fighters during the Korean War of 1950 to 1953. And he was one of the Navy's premier test fighters. And as I mentioned, for a while they considered the name Tomcat for this airplane, but in those years it was considered to be too suggestive. The B-29 50 tactical flight. The wingspan 51 feet 6 inches, the length 45 feet 4 inches. Dusty Crophopper coming by. Rusty is the actual pilot. Camera's ready as the Tiger Cat dives in from the right. It's his last pass of the day, so I want you to get a good shot of it and get a chance to hear it as well. Two 2,100 horsepower R2800 Bethel Wasp radial engines. Getting set for his 12 minutes of hardcore, high-energy aerobatics. Representing the Air National Guard, flying the MXS. We invite you all weekend long to stop on by the Air National Guard's mobile experience to learn more about the air. He'll complete 4 revolutions from that position, then he'll upright the aircraft into the inverted flat spin. Now wings level. There's the upright flat spin. Now watch closely as he rides the elevator down. He'll push the stick forward, jam a whole lot of rudder into the third spin, the knife edge spin. Here he comes now, rapidly losing altitude at over 160 miles an hour. He'll kick opposite rudder straight out the middle. nose, driving down right off the deck. Jack Platt, a long-time member here. Then later, finishing the F-16. First, go right a vertical double with John. We'll catch it now. Demonstrating horsepower is I-540. He'll slowly roll his way from that. Training off the last bit of nose. This afternoon, John's experiencing up to 10 positive G's and nearly 7 negative G's. Watch closely at the top of the maneuver. John rolls wings level in a big outside negative G push. Here we go. He's out for here comes those outside negative G's. Nearly 7 times. The MXS. He'll continue that push all the way around and air show left. Working back up over.
Boyzinho.
Built right in the United States of America in North Carolina, this aircraft originally popular by the Red Bull Air Race Series, hitting events across the world. The aircraft composed entirely of composite material, weighing in at 1,200 pounds. Career show right now to set up to demonstrate some precision flying skills in the 8-point presentation. As he dives in, he'll roll wings level, nose up ever so slightly. Count with me. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now rolls on the way out over 400 degrees per second, working right back up into the vertical. Down outside of the cockpit. Rolling away in the background. He's going to climb up to altitude of nearly 3,000 feet. There's a number of reasons. One is simply let that I-540 cool down. He'll tighten up the strap. Make sure all the engine instruments are in the green. We're going to go down to the cockpit. That's the inside tumble. Tail over nose. I'm sure she did. I'll talk to her later.
Oh, that's the inside tumble. It's absolutely a great day to be an airfield pilot. I'm having fun too, John, if we get the best team in the business, and we're having a ball. I'm going to send it back to you. On the microphone, man. I'm going to hit it for the last 7 minutes. Well, I got about 4 minutes, actually.
All righty, ladies and gentlemen, one of your legs so far, Lieutenant Colonel. Flying the MXS. This gentleman mentioned a long-time member of the Air National Guard for 24 years. We talked about it earlier, but we invite you all. Located up by the Warmer section campus of the Air National Guard Global Experience, where you can interact and learn more about the Air National Guard. Not only in career field positions. A great opportunity for young men and women looking at getting a head start with their needs. Still holds it on the prop. Demonstrating the horsepower that I-540. The smoke comes back on down. He'll push the nose down. Everybody wants to stop by the Air National Guard to learn more about John and the Air National Guard, so they can show your own the Air Guard. If you'd like to find more Taboo on the boardwalk for fall is a great time to visit Bay Area. Houston, stop by the Visitor Center in Seabrook at the base of Pimas Seabrook Bridge and SH 146 for hotels, restaurants, events, and even discounted traction tickets. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, on behalf of the Committed Air Force, welcome to Wings Over Houston 2013. My name is Roger Howard, and I am delighted to be your host for this portion of your day's journey to aviation at the war. For several months, diplomats tried to avert this very conflict, but Admiral Saroki Yamamoto, the commander of naval operations for the Japanese Imperial Fleet, has other ideas. He has devised a secret plan to deal a decisive blow to the United States and the Navy. Today, diplomacy fails and the world will never be the same. And
and close your eyes with me for just a moment and imagine with me. It's a dark in their journey to their unsuspecting targets. They use the Honolulu radio station playing popular songs to guide them to their fateful destinations.
همونجور وسط
As the
باند
airplanes
هواپیماشو
approach,
بفرست.
operators at a photo radar station spot the strike Island Paradise. But
آقاش
that is
باتری
not to
ماشینش
be.
تموم شده دارم اون میده.
Ladies and gentlemen, look to your left. Imagine you're on a ship in Pearl Harbor, wondering one of those airplanes. Ladies and gentlemen, it's December 7th, 1941. Pearl Harbor, Hawaii. You are there. First sirens and alarms sound. Right now, right here. Listen to the sounds of battle. Hear the sirens just as they did. Feel the explosions hammer your chest just as they did. Smell the smoke as it burns your nostrils just as they did that fateful Sunday morning. Look, listen and remember, for we must never forget. Japanese planes attack relentlessly. Many surgeons believe the attack is some kind of crazy air raid drill. They think the airplanes are American. In fact, one soldier remarks, this is the best dang drill the Air Force has ever put on. But when the rising sun becomes visible on the wings of the airplanes, everyone knows this is no drill. General Short by the attack while playing golf. His response to his aide is, that is ridiculous. General Short has never been more calm. The coordinated attack goes off like clockwork at 07 at Hickam Air Force Base. 2 minutes later, just like one begin their attack. Bouncing around. Sleepy eyes, soldiers and sailors stumble outside to see Japanese airplanes everywhere. Circling the skies, waiting to attack. The ships lined up side by side like city dogs out around the world. And they wait for it. In fact, the Japanese were designed to frighten the ships in Pearl Harbor. A technological advancement the Americans are sadly unaware of. The French shipping tunnel. Hydraulic. Tasting torpedoes. Oklahoma and West Virginia are next. Oklahoma lifts and capsizes, rolling on the battleship USS Maryland. When the Oklahoma sinks her belly thrusting out of the burning waters of Pearl Harbor, hundreds of men are trapped. Only 32 of these men will be rescued. And not until a full 3 hours after the attack. The Western California takes torpedoes and six. At the same time, the USA Air Force the 1,700-pound projectile penetrates deep into the belly, first through one deck, then through 2 decks. Plunges next to the Arizona erupts like a volcano rising out of the harbor. Flames shooting over 500 feet in the air. Almost blowing up dark. Sent to a watery grave. And those brave men a testament to their courage, their sacrifice,
کالور این بد پارک کرده دارن توش میکنه.
Strike force makes its way back to the waiting carriers, and the Japanese ships begin the long journey back to Japan. America pulled together, and America was victorious. Your country, against all odds, came out strong, and it was able to do what no country had done in the past. Defeat two different enemies. Yes, we were not ready for war. But young men joined the armed forces to defend this nation. And women began working in factories. You can be strong, just as this nation is. You can make a difference. I want you to take this moment and savor what we have and to pledge to become involved in your community, your government, your surroundings. We must not become spectators to our own destiny. I hope today we have stood. Thunder! From right!
ما که نمیبینیم برحال
I'm Tiger Cat straight up, and I'm just loving Texas Bay Area Credit Union. I love my Texas Bay Area Credit Union credit card. Or Texas Bay Area Credit Union, right in your neighborhood. Texas Bay Area Credit Union, home of the 1.49% to auto loan. Certain credit criteria and membership eligibility.
On Blu-ray, DVD, and HD.
بسیجی اینجا توی دود افتاده.
Guaranteeing hours of uplifting entertainment for the whole family.
تهران دیگه.
اما تو تهران هم اینجوری نیست. دوده تمامی هم نداره. انگار گازش گوبر زده.
You can tell, can you imagine what it was like at Pearl Harbor? That's what Roger Goward said to me. And I know it hurts your eyes, hurts mine too. We are going to take a short break. They're going to send the Ram 1500, the Motor Trend North American and Texas Truck of the Year. Each guest taking a ride will receive a free Ram gift and be registered in the sweepstakes to win $45,000 toward a Chrysler Group vehicle. You can friend them on Facebook.
پنجره رو بستی؟
چی؟
خونه رو بستی؟
باز نبود.
To help veterans who may not know they've got some benefits that they have actually earned, and to help them through some of the tougher times in their lives. All the way up there. Oh, that's what's going on. Oh, okay. Sorry, Dan McLaren. I've got Dan McLaren all messed up. He's wondering what I've done to him. Sorry about that. But I want to say a great big thank you to Dan McLaren and Mach 1 Productions from Canada, who has been here just about taking off his representation has been the Pacific, and we needed a morale boost. And Lieutenant Colonel Jimmy Doolittle was selected to lead a raid on Tokyo because they thought their homeland was invincible. They had not been attacked in over 2,000 years. And that Mitchell bomber, 16 of them launched from the USS Hornet. Some 800 miles from Japan, flew 50 feet over the water. Here's top deck. 100 feet that dropped their bombs on Tokyo, Nagoya, Kobe, and Yokohama, Japan. It did very little strategic damage to the action and flies to more destinations than any other airline. That's flyer friendly. United flies with friendly skies. The B-7 17 taxis by over 12,700 of these aircraft were built. It was known as the Flying Fortress. Had a crew of 10. Some of them had totally... for many years, during the 60s, 70s, and 80s, known as O2 or Oscar Deuces. They were observation aircraft used in the Vietnam conflict, also taking off Orion Navion with training and turning with the blue fuselage turning away from us. Many of them have their histories and their roots in civilian aircraft. The advanced trainers taking in a fixed pitch propeller, no radio, and very little instrumentation, just there to teach the basics of flying. Straight line 4-cylinder engine. Behind it, the BT-19, almost the same airplane except it has an open cockpit. High overhead, the O2 Bird Dogs, the Oscar Deuces as they were known. Of those early L-birds or liaison aircraft, there were several designations. One was the L1. It was built by Boeing. Here early this morning, before we started the official air show, you saw a demonstration of general aviation aircraft, many different types. The Piper L4B, being flown by Rick Winters from Austin, Texas. He's a consultant, and it actually performed the last kill in World War II in Europe. It was from an L4 aircraft. The Stinson L5, olive drab and green, flown by Jed Doggett from Kingwood, Texas. It's the L5 ambulance version, which can actually carry a patient from the battlefield to a hospital. There's one O2, Cessna O2 up there, tan and brown camouflage from Vietnam. John Joseph from Brentwood, Texas is flying it. He's an oil and gas consultant. Then we also have some other training aircraft. Actually up in front of us, right behind the twin-engine aircraft, is a Cessna aircraft known as a T-50, a Trainer 50. A couple of 300 horsepower Jacobs engine on it. It was made all of wood, and it was nicknamed the Bamboo Bomber. It also had not only a training mission, but a cargo and utility and it was given a designation of the UC-78, but the useless 78. Coming across right now, two T-34 aircraft and the Yak-52. The camouflage T-34 is being flown by Rob Perry. He's from Houston. He's a neurosurgeon and a flight surgeon and an aircraft medical examiner. Here come the Cessna 337 Skymasters, or the O2s. They are interesting in that they have two engines, but they are on the same center line, one front, one behind, and they were known as the push-me-pull-use. They were used not only for marking targets during the Vietnam War, but they also had some psychological operations or missions called PSYOPs. They would go into Laos and Cambodia where they weren't supposed to be, and they had some psychological missions they did there. They translate 265 horsepower engines that were on the T-34 aircraft that were nicknamed the Mentor. The T-34 Charlies that are still flown some by the Navy have turboprop aircraft engines on them. That's a jet engine that comes from the North American Texan Cat. Those of you who may be old enough to remember this, if you're my age, if you're in your 60s, late 50s, early 60s, you might remember a television show called Sky King about an Arizona rancher. Start, care, cover, and move on to the next part of the show. We'll be back with more here on Wings Over Houston after we pause for a couple of messages.
It doesn't help that Dusty has a fear of heights, but with a little help and encouragement from some great friends, he finds a way to be more than he was built for. Will Dusty succeed? When disaster strikes, does he have the heart of a champion? You and your family can find out.
United is a proud partner of Wings Over Houston and flies to more destinations than any other airline that's flyer friendly. United Fly Chrysler Group vehicle. Now, ladies and gentlemen, take a look as we look at 1,900 horsepower, one of about 7,200 Curtiss SP2C Helldivers that were built. That's the only one flying in the world today. The TBM is also built by General Motors. The TBM. Here comes the F7f Tiger Cat again with the two R2800 engines developing 2,100 horsepower. Hand cranks that wheel, those wheels, up into the upright and locked position for after takeoff. Ed Besley flying the Curtiss Helldiver. It was known Air Force, a great supporter of general aviation and air shows. The Tiger Cat, top speed 460 miles per hour, the fastest twin-engine fighter in the Navy. Strafing run from the left, here comes a Bearcat. The F4U Corsair coming from the left, the bent-wing bird. This airplane was initially designed to be flown aboard carriers of the United States Navy, but the pilot sat so far back in the fuselage that he was having difficulty seeing the landing area. So the F4 Japanese in the Pacific. The Bearcat's flying by and rolling high to the right at this point. The F8F Bearcat actually never saw service in World War II. It came into, but it was a great performer. It was the second type of airplane flown by the United States Navy Flight Demonstration Squadron, the Blue Angels. There's the Chief Squadron, and if you turned on your television set, you might hear something like this. 115 miles per hour. Built by Chance Vaughn, designed by Chance Vaughn, when their production capabilities had reached their maximum, the United States Navy turned to another manufacturer, the Goodyear Tire and Rubber Company of Akron, Ohio. They had, throughout the years of the war and prior to it, been experts at building lighter-than-air aircraft, dirigibles. And they knew exactly how much metal could be put on a piece of a part for an airplane, and just how much metal would give it maximum strength without adding more. All right, here comes some photo passes. Here comes the Helldiver. But the Goodyear Tire and Rubber Company of Akron, Ohio, built many Corsairs. They called it the FG-1, as did Brewster aircraft. They called it the F3. Ed Besley in the SV-2C Helldiver. The Tiger Cat overhead, coming from the left, TBF Avenger, TBF for General Motors, TBF for Grumman, same airplane, two different manufacturers. Bearcats overhead doing victory roll. The aircraft of the Texas Flying Legends Museum now taxiing out for their demonstration. We don't want anybody to leave. It's only 5 after 1. We're going to go till about 3:40 this afternoon. There's plenty to do, plenty to see, and we don't want you to miss a minute of this spectacular show today. I hope you're all having a great time. Houston, this is just an online here very, very shortly. That's what they called it. The Helldiver had a length of 36 feet 8 inches. It was 13 feet 2 inches high with a 50-foot wingspan. All right, let's watch the Tiger Cat do his victory roll. The fastest twin-engine fighter in the Navy with a top speed of 460. Whitney R2800s powering the Tiger Cat. The Bearcat's coming through from the right, flown by the U.S. Navy Blue Angels in 1947, I believe, and 48. The Vaughn Corsair with a 13-foot 6-inch diameter propeller. Here comes the one of just a handful of Tiger Cats left, only 364 hundred. The pilot sits behind that big 18-cylinder Wright radial engine, Pratt & Whitney radial engine. There was a big fuel tank, made it really challenging for the pilot to be able to come by Ed Besley. Let's watch the TBM as it folds its wings. Sam Graves, the controls congressman from Missouri. Besley's got his folded up. They did this for carrier-based aircraft because the room, the space available on the decks of an aircraft carrier was very limited. So they had wings that would fold up, or in this case, fold back. In the case of the Avenger, as you can see it right now, clone 1,700 horsepower radial engines.
runway, flying away from us, a real World War representing the Texas Flying Legends.
Have a great time today, and we want to be part of that great time. So come by our KSBJ booth and meet our DJs. Win prizes from KSBJ Radio. We're the station reminding you, stop listening.
Hi, I'm Gary Sinise, CSI New York. Disabled twin-engine bombers were built by North American Aviation, and as we saw earlier, it was the same type of aircraft that was involved in that daring raid on April 18th of 1942, just 4 months after we entered World War II, that actually reached the Japanese homeland and pounded those targets in Yokohama, Kobe, Tokyo, and Nagoya. They'll form up for their demonstration as we recover the rest of the aircraft, the F7f Tiger Cat, the F7f Tiger Cat's already going back down to their ramp, and coming down from the right, the F4f Wildcat. At the controls of the Texas Flying Legends B-25 that will be in the lead of that formation, father and son, Alan Miller from Minot, North Dakota. The remaining formation being led by Alan Marsh and his son Alan Marsh in the B-25 Betty's Dream. Look at how quickly the Zero is able to maneuver and get turned around and dive in. It is at a significant disadvantage in terms of speed and maneuverability. But it was the fact that there was very little armor to protect the pilot. So a couple of rounds that could be aimed at the pilot could disable him and put the aircraft and the pilot out of commission. The other thing that the Zero did not... Actual Japanese Zero, the same type that was actually used during the attack on Pearl Harbor. This is not a movie replica. This is the real thing. P-40 Warhawk. Almost as fast, not as maneuverable, but in the hands of a capable and highly trained U.S. pilot, the P-40 Warhawk could be a significant adversary for the maneuverable Japanese Zero. Sink U.S. warships in the Pacific. Quickly over the top, the pilot, Warren Peach, does a quick loop and puts himself in an offensive position at the 6 o'clock position of the P-40 Warhawk being flown by Doug Rosendahl from Clear Lake, Iowa. But the fight's not over yet. On the way to Tokyo, it was a 1,500-mile one-way mission to Tokyo or to Japan to drop those bombs and to come back. Conventional bombs. Wave after wave after wave of bombers pounding Japanese targets to try to bomb them into submission. August 6, 1945, a crew in a single B-29 bomber took off from runway Able at Tinian and proceeded to Japan. Piloted by Colonel Paul Tibbett from
Columbus, Ohio. Get your cameras ready, ladies and gentlemen. The lone bomb, known as Little Boy, was dropped on Hiroshima and caused unspeakable damage. Well-known airshow pilot, the son of a legend. There goes the T-33. That's Lieutenant Colonel Steve Higgs, U.S. Air Force Reserve, retired from Lamar, Texas. He actually started flying airplanes with the Texas City Civil Air Patrol Squadron when he was just 13 years of age.
Esme şeyi biliyor musun?
T-33, with its Allison jet engine, generated about 3,500 pounds of thrust to get this airplane up over 550 miles to the North Korean fighters. Behind it, the world champion aerobatic pilot, and she will be flying her Cat 232 unlimited aerobatic competition aircraft course that Michael Julian, representing Goodyear, and it had in its lower nose some of the largest guns ever used for air-to-air combat. Two 23mm cannons and one 37mm cannons. A 37mm shell is about the size of a 7-ounce. This is a lady who has won over 20 medals in world competition, with 31 years of world competition flying under her belt. Watch her as she comes over the top. She's really getting it on up there, Rob. She certainly is, Dan. Well, I'm very sorry, but they had some problem getting the top engine started. The Debbie Lee Harvey, right all the way from up the road. In a Piper J3 Cub. At age 15, Chuck Irvin, the same instructor who taught Balby how to fly, refined Matt's piloting skills, and on the 16th birthday,
This 1943 Twin B, after 70 years, this airplane is back
The skill of Matt Youngkin is incomparable. This airplane was never designed to do the kind of aerobatics that he's performing here today. But never will he exceed 3 times the force of gravity, keeping it in the standard category for normal operations. Now let's watch as the airplane's nose comes up to the twin 450 horsepower bracket, which is 100 miles per hour. Bottom side then. The growl that you hear as the airplane goes by is the sound of the propeller tips going supersonic. Now watch, the airplane is now dirty. The wheels are down. There's a lot Matt is now proficient in over 50 types of airplanes.
When I see an elephant fly, what did it do?
Horsepower. Yeah, I see you heading up toward the fence. You don't want to miss this. He wanted a second chance at getting them all turning and burning. Chris is a second generation driver. His dad, Neil, is working with him right now. Looks like we've got 2 lit. Didn't get it? Didn't get it. Well, unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, they were unable to get him lit.
عکسای بگیرم عکس بزنم این ور یا اون ور اون یا این افسر آلمانی هم. Schnell. که عشق بنده است.
Mama, you can go in there.
Right hand? Right foot?
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
There you go. And then you're going to go around. There you go. There you go. Oh, watch your leg. You ever been in a helicopter before? It's fun. It's fun. Okay, go.
اینم خلبانشه. Thank you sir. نه دیگه. بریم اون برم چند تا هست. اونا رو ببینیم. این ماشینا من این بالا میان و میرن. موانع گذاشتن که کیفیتشون اینجا به مشتریان نشون داده بشه. همون جت هست. بزرگه نه